Today we're going to practice our listening skills by listening to a little bit of British English. But this is not your traditional BBC, even London type of accent. This is more the type of English that you hear in the northern area of England, which sounds a little bit different. So, without further ado, let's get started. Hey there, how's it going? Thiago here, and welcome to another episode of the Media Corner series. In case you're new here, the Media Corner series is a series of videos here on the channel where basically every Sunday I pick a clip from a movie, a TV series, a podcast, an interview, and teach you some English with it. So, in case you're new here, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a single new lesson. So today we're going to be looking at this interview with Stephen Graham. Stephen Graham is the creator and one of the stars of the hit Netflix series Adolescence. You know, this is a buzzy series nowadays. As I'm recording this video, everybody's talking about it. Apparently, this series has been very well received by critics. But anyway, going back here to the interview, we have here the creator of the series. I didn't know that. I didn't know that he was the creator as well. But Stephen Graham, he's giving this interview talking a little bit about the series Adolescence and how well it's been received by the audience, by critics. Now, I decided to bring this clip for you today because when I heard him speak in the series and also in the interview, that really caught my attention because he has this British accent that is very peculiar. It's not the type of British accent that I personally am used to listening to on a daily basis. You know, when I think of British English, I usually think of BBC, which is the RP pronunciation, the received pronunciation. That's the standard British accent, but that is not the type of accent actually that is spoken by most Brits in England. But I think of BBC, for example, or I think of even London, the type of British English that is spoken in the south of England. But if you go to other regions of England, like, in the middle of the country or even in the north part of the country, the English there sounds quite peculiar. So we're going to listen to a little bit of that today, and I hope you enjoy it. So let's get started.
Telling you, I watched all 4 hours in one sitting. It is riveting.
I watched all 4 hours in one sitting. This series, Adolescence, is a mini-series. It's only 4 episodes of about 1 hour each, so it's a 4-hour show, basically. But the host here is using a nice expression, in one sitting. When you watch a movie or a TV series in one sitting, it means that you sit down and you only get up when you finish the whole thing. So in one sitting, he finished all the 4 episodes. That's what he's saying here.
It's compelling. And
he used a couple of nice words here as well. Check it out.
All 4 hours in one sitting. It is riveting. It's compelling.
You see, it is riveting. It's compelling. Riveting is a synonym for compelling, by the way. So something riveting or compelling is something that is really engrossing, that really makes you feel absorbed by or really catches your attention and, it grips you in a way and you want to keep watching it. You want to keep doing it, So yeah, riveting, compelling, nice words.
And it's really not like anything we've seen on television before. Without giving away too much, sort of explain what Adolescence is about.
He said, without giving away too much, listen.
Before, without giving away too much.
In other words, without giving spoilers, without giving so many spoilers, without giving away too much, what is the series? What is Adolescence about?
Sort of explain what Adolescence is about.
It's the story of a young boy who gets...
You say young boy, so he's not really saying young boy, like young. It's more of a young boy, like very close sounding, yeah?
It's the story of a young boy who gets accused to the murder of a young girl.
Did you hear how he says the word murder? Yeah, it doesn't really sound murder. He has a very peculiar way of pronouncing the U. I heard something like murder, you know? So listen again.
It's the story of a young boy who gets accused of the murder of a young girl.
It's almost like like murder, you know, instead of murder. Yeah. Let me slow down the playback here because, you know, maybe we can catch the vowel sound better. Check it out.
It's the story of a young boy who gets accused of the murder of a young.
Yeah, it's almost like he's saying murder. Not mur, but me. Murder. It's a me type of vowel sound. Really interesting. Let's go back here.
Young girl. And look, there's no spoilers. We find out by the end of the episode that he did it. And it was never a kind of who done it. It was more of a why has he done it.
You see, who done it? It's like very close sounding, huh?
It was more of a why has he done it. He did it. And it was never a kind of who done it. It was more of a why.
Yeah, I really found interesting how he says that who done it. He says who done it. But notice that, you know, I talk about cognitive speech all the time here, yeah? Cognitive speech is applied in any variant of English, okay? In any native accent. So here we are looking at a person who speaks British English from the north of England. And even though the accent sounds different from what we are usually used to hearing, let's say, he still uses cognitive speech. Listen.
And it was never a kind of who done it. It was more of a why has he done it.
Sorry, a little bit back here.
And look, there's no spoilers. We find out by the end of the episode that he did it.
You see that he did it. He did it. So, did it. He's flapping the sound there. Yeah? Did it.
And it was never a kind of who done it. It was more of a why has he done it. And that's kind of the concept of the program. We wanted to look at what's happening to young boys today in today's society when it's kind of...
I thought, did you hear the vocabulary there? Listen again.
Of the concept of the program, we wanted to...
You see, the concept of the program. He's referring to the TV series as the program, which sounds very British to me. Yeah, we usually call this a TV show or a TV series, but he's referring to it as a program, which to me sounds so British. Yeah.
Kind of who done it. It was more of a why has he done it. And that's kind of the concept of the program. We wanted to look at what's happening to young boys today in today's society when it's kind of, you know, radicalization from the internet, but also the school system and parenting. So it's really...
Nice. So he's talking about a couple of things here, yeah?
In today's society when it's kind of, you know, radicalization from the internet.
Radicalization from the internet, okay? Maybe the absurd things that young boys are exposed to nowadays on the internet.
But also the school system and parenting.
The school system?
So
let me go back to the parenting word. You hear that? Listen to that.
You know, radicalization from the internet, but also the school system and parenting. So
he doesn't really say parenting with the R, right? It's almost like a ra, like a ra, like parenting, not parenting, but parenting. It's almost like he's flapping the R, just like we flap the T for ra, you know? Parenting. Listen again.
The school system and parenting. So
yeah, he's not really curling the R from the R, like parenting, but parenting. He's flapping the R here. Quite interesting.
It's really a kind of a question of why has this young boy gone out and done this heinous act, you know what I mean?
And I would say that his English sounds very musical to me. You know, to be honest with you guys, when I was watching this series for the first time, initially I thought he was Irish or something, you know, because it sounded so musical, like so melodic, yeah, the way that he places his intonation. By the way, I found out, I did a little research, I found out that he is from a place in England called Kirkby, which is close to Liverpool and Manchester as well. So it's right there up north of England. And it is true. I mean, the type of English that you hear in the south of England is one. But as you go up north, the accent tends to change. You know, it reminded me a little bit of Game of Thrones. Yeah, if you've seen Game of Thrones, maybe you will know what I'm talking about. Because in Game of Thrones, we have the people from the South, let's say the people who live in the capital, King's Landing, and the people in the North, like people who live in Winterfell, for example, the Northerners, right? And who live by the wall there. So that illustrates well the accents, because usually people who live in King's Landing in the series, they speak British English in the more, let's say, conventional way as we are used to hearing it, you know, the typical BBC or London type of accent. But when you go to the north, you know, like to the characters in Winterfell, for example, they speak more like Stephen here, yeah? They have more of this northern type of sounding, which to me sounds a little bit heavier, yeah? Details like, you know, flapping the R. Instead of R, they go ra, 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 for example, yeah? So let's continue here.
From an artistic standpoint, Stephen, again, it's no stopping, no camera cuts.
One shot.
One shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found that really interesting, the way it was filmed, you know. There were no cuts. Yeah, it was filmed in one shot, the entire series. I thought it was quite original in that sense.
I mean, it takes a while to get used to it first, but then I mean, you can't look away. It just sort of grabs you by the collar. What was
The host is using a nice expression here. It grabs you by the collar. Imagine you're wearing a shirt and your shirt has a collar, right? So the host is saying that this way of shooting the series in just one shot grabs you by the collar like this. Physically or literally means this, like something grabs you by the collar. Yeah? But what he's meaning here, what he means figuratively speaking, is that it's really absorbing, really immersive, let's say. Once you are watching it, you don't want to stop watching it. That's what he's saying here.
What's the thinking there with that approach?
We made a film a few years ago, myself and Phil Barantini, our fantastic director, and we had a great...
Director. You say, so first of all, he doesn't say director. You know, in North American English, we would say director. He says director, but not only the die vowel here, but again, the R is a peculiar sound here in this more northern type of British accent. He doesn't say director, but dire, re, re. He's flapping the R, director, director. All right? So listen again.
Phil Barantini, our fantastic director, and we had a
Director.
great crew, and it was called Boiling Point, about a chef. So that kind of, we've experienced and we've had...
We've experienced. So expe and re, again, the R being flapped, experienced, not experienced. He's not saying experienced, but experienced. All right? Listen again.
It was called Boiling Point, about a chef. So that kind of, we've experienced and we've gone down that road of grabbing an audience straight away, and we just wanted to see if we could...
You see, even though he uses connected speech, yeah, like I just pointed out earlier, in British English in general, there is a tendency for the T to be pronounced more as a true T. He just said that. He says straight away. Straight away. Listen to that.
Gone down that road of grabbing an audience straight away, and we just...
You see, straight away. He is joining the T of straight with the A for away, but with a true T sound, straight away. A typical American would flap that T and go straight away. Straight straight away. He's going straight away. All right?
Just wanted to see if we could do the same thing in a series, and I think what happens is...
Also, I would say the vowel E. So the letter R here is very peculiar. There is this flap sound, r, but also the letter E. It almost sounds like an E, you know?
We could do the same thing in a series, and I think...
You see, in a series. He's not really saying series. Do the same thing in a series, but in a series, something like that. You know, it's like a se, no si, but E.
What happens is, you know, as you've said, we kind of take the audience on this journey straight away. And because it's in real time, the audience finds out as much as the parents find out in that first episode. And then we just get to learn about each one of these people and the impact that this, you know, this horrendous act.
Again, he's saying learn, but the way he pronounces learn is very peculiar.
Finds out as much as the parents find out in that first episode. And then we just get to learn about each one of these.
You see, we just get to, he's saying here, we just get to learn, okay? But let me slow down the speed here. See if you can get how he pronounces the word learn, okay? Listen again here.
Find out in that first episode. And then we just get to learn about each.
Did you hear that? This is how he pronounces learn. It's like a learn. Let me go back a little bit.
And then we just get to learn about each.
It's almost like a learn. We just get to learn about. Interesting, right? Learn.
Find out in that first episode. And then we just get to learn about each.
You see? He's saying learn. We just got to learn about. Really, really cool, guys. Let me go back to the normal speed here.
Each one of these people and the impact that this, this horrendous act has had.
You're fantastic in it, but you were almost upstaged by this kid.
You're almost upstaged by this kid. When you are upstaged by someone, it means that that person is pretty much almost like stealing the show from you, like drawing the attention from you to that person. I think the host is talking about the main protagonist now. Yeah, the kid, yeah? Jamie, the teenager.
This 13-year-old who plays Jamie, who's now 15, I understand.
He's 15 now, yeah.
How'd you find him?
We have an amazing casting director, Shaheen Baig, and we saw over 500 young boys.
So a casting director is a person responsible for casting actors. So, okay, we have the script, we have these characters here. I mean, who would be a good actor to play this character? So the casting director usually looks for, actors, yeah, who can play that role and makes that decision, right?
We wanted to try and create an opportunity for someone who hadn't acted before, who didn't have a lot of experience.
So he had never done it.
Again, the word experience, who didn't have a lot of experience, right? So apparently the kid here, he had never acted before. This was his breakthrough role, let's say, or his debut role. And, his first show is already a hit series on Netflix. Look at that.
He'd never done anything. And you've seen episode 3?
Yes.
The amazing episode between him and the wonderful Erin Doherty. Well, it's a beautiful, Jack Thorne, amazing writer. That particular episode is more like...
So, yeah, I mean, we can hear some common British patterns here, yeah? Like the true T again, writer, and the R is not really pronounced like a curl R, like after a vowel, yeah? It's almost like they just dropped the R and just pronounce the schwa sound, writer, just like director, and writer.
I think it's like a David Mamet play. It's beautiful. And he's, he was a 13-year-old boy.
It's beautiful.
And he came in, he was off book. He's just phenomenal. He's now working with Margot Robbie.
Of course.
So we've created an opportunity for a young lad, do you know what I mean, who wouldn't have necessarily had
Nice. Apparently the kid is now working with Margot Robbie. That's cool.
this opportunity.
As we mentioned, this is the #1 show on Netflix right now. 99%.
The #1 show on Netflix at the time of this interview. I don't know nowadays if it still is, but it's a buzzy show, that's for sure. If you even look at the headline here, yeah, Adolescence star talks buzzy Netflix series. So something buzzy is something that is causing a lot of buzz. Like people are hyping about it or talking about it,
And this is the #1 show on Netflix right now. 99% on Rotten Tomatoes, by the way.
Yeah.
Why do you think this series, why do you think it's resonated with so many people?
That's a nice word. They're very commonly used. You hear that a lot when something resonates with someone else. Yeah. So if something resonates with you, it creates a connection with you. You feel a connection to it. Okay. For example, I like to believe that, if you follow me here week in, week out, it's because, for some reason, my videos here, my content, the way I teach English resonates with you. You feel a connection with it. Got it? So the host is saying, why do you think this series has resonated with so many people?
I don't really have the answer to that question, Per.
You see, it sounds so musical, yeah? I don't really have the answer to that question. No, 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 no. You know, it's like, that's how I hear the music of his English, you know? It's very melodic, you know, very up and down type of intonation. Listen again.
With so many people.
Do you know, I don't really have the answer to that question. Personally, I think, look, you've heard that beautiful saying, it takes a village to raise a child. Well, I think what we've done with this is we've looked at it, maybe we've looked at it and said that everyone's accountable, you know, parenting.
Everyone's accountable. Everyone's responsible.
Schooling.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go back here a little bit.
We've looked at it, maybe we've looked at it and said that everyone's accountable, you know, parenting, schooling, politics, the education system, society, and something that me and you didn't have, the internet.
Yes.
The internet.
Yeah, that is absolutely true. I mean, I only had my first phone when I turned 18, for you to have an idea. My first cell phone I got when I was 18. I was working my first job, and then, you know, I bought it. But, you know, even the cell phone back then wasn't as advanced. It wasn't a smartphone, yeah? The only thing I could play there in terms of game was that little snake game, you know? It was a Motorola phone, yeah? But it wasn't near what we have nowadays.
There's a big influence on our young generation, even on, you know, on any generation. So I think it's looking at all of those aspects and maybe raising our hands up. We're not pointing the finger at any one individual or any particular thing. We're just saying maybe we should look at this, put a mirror up to society and have a look. Maybe we're all accountable in some way, shape or form. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
We're the only ones that can change that narrative.
And you have two kids. You've got a young son. I've got a young son. As I watched it, that's what I thought about. I thought about,
of course,
what it's like to raise, especially young boys right now.
Of course, thank you, and that's great that you take that away from it. And I suppose what we're not telling anyone to do anything. It's just maybe it ends in his bedroom.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It ends in Jamie's bedroom, and his dad's in there in his bedroom. And it's a big impact that it has on his father. And I think
on his father, yeah. The intonation is interesting.
Anything all we're trying to say is maybe open that bedroom door a little bit more. My wife used this beautiful analogy.
Yeah, he's saying something really cool, yeah. But maybe just, you know, open your teenage son's bedroom a little bit more. Teenage daughter too, you know.
I think we've created an opportunity for parents to open that door and go in.
Parents.
Into the bedroom and talk to our youth, because they're our future, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, look at that.
I think we've created an opportunity for parents to open that door and go into the bedroom and talk to our youth, because they
talk to our youth. Our youth are our kids, our young people. Yeah, the youth. Yeah,
they're our future. Do you know what I mean,
Stephen?
Listen to that last part again.
Go into the bedroom and talk to our youth, because they're our future. Do you know what I mean?
You see, do you know what I mean? But, you know, the way he pronounces that, so musical, yeah? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Yeah? I mean, yeah, that was really cool.
Stephen, well done.
Thank you very much.
Next time I want you to come back to...
Thank you very much. Very much. You see, that flapped R sound, very. Not very, but thank you very much.
Talk about playing Bruce Springsteen's father.
Nice, guys. Really, really cool. And that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Media Corner series. I hope you had a little bit of listening practice here with this peculiar British accent. And, well, stay tuned because, you know, there'll be another episode coming soon. By the way, if you want to leave a suggestion of what I should use as a media clip to teach English with here in the Media Corner series, leave me your suggestion below. Don't forget to check out my conversation club, my pronunciation course, and my private community. I'm Thiago. I'm signing off. I'll be talking to you very soon in the upcoming episode. Bye-bye.